Très bien. Excellent. Alors, qu'est-ce que tu as fait de nouveau, Angèle, ou d'intéressant, depuis la fois passée, depuis notre dernière leçon? Did you understand that?
I feel like what did I do new or something?
What you do that's new.
Yeah.
Nouveau is new.
Yeah.
Depuis, since, depuis la fois passée, last time.
Oh, our last lesson.
That's right, since our last lesson. Oh, very good, Angel. Oh, you understood that bit at the end. Excellent.
Well, yeah, really nothing new.
Rien d'intéressant, rien de spécial, Angèle. Nothing.
Yes?
Sorry, what did you say? Qu'est-ce que tu avais
Je
dit?
suis allée.
Je suis allé. So let me just write it for you in the italki message section.
We have this last.
Suis allé. Hang on a minute. Allé. There we go. Sorry, what did you say just after that, Angel?
No, saying that one was there because that's in our notes already.
Oh, we did that last time, did we? Je suis allé. Did we? Let me have a look at the notes last time. Oh, yes, je suis allé. Yes, so that's an easy one. Okay, that's it. That's one you know then. That's the active vocabulary. Je suis allé. Yes?
Yes. But how do I say? Say très. How do you say hot?
Chaud.
Chaud.
So I'll write that for you. Chaud. So it's C-H-A-U-D is chaud when it's masculine, and when it's feminine, how do you form the feminine? Do you remember?
You put an E on it.
Right. Very good, Angel. Très bien, Ange. Voilà. Chaude is feminine for hot, and chaud is masculine for hot. Can you say those words, Angel?
Shoot and shoot.
That's right. Chaud and chaude.
Chaude. Okay.
Very good.
Well, today, actually, I just went over this yesterday in my class.
Oh, yesterday. Do you know how to say yesterday in French?
No.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. You know that song, don't you, Angel, from the Beatles? Yesterday.
Yes.
You do. Okay,
I've heard that song.
That's good. Well, actually, yes, at the beginning of yesterday, actually. Yes.
Word to say yesterday?
So yesterday
I
is yeah. I better put equals yesterday so you don't forget. So actually, it's much shorter in French. Yeah.
How do you pronounce it? Say it again, please.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah.
Yes, I know it's written with an H, but it's not pronounced here, which is what, or it should be literally if it was pronounced logically, but here it's not pronounced logically, so we say yeah, like it's a Y in front, like Y for yesterday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't know. I'll say it this way, and then I'll ask. I guess
sure.
the question.
Say it in English first, and then we'll just translate it into French. How's that then?
Okay.
Isn't that good?
Very hot in Abu Dhabi. So I don't know if it's say.
So what you want to say in English is, it's very hot in Abu Dhabi. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's very hot in Abu Dhabi. Oops, I didn't write that correctly. Sorry. Dhabi. Dhabi is spelled D-A-B-I?
D-H-A-B-I.
Oh, I forgot the H, of course. Silent H, yes, of course. Dhabi. Right. Oh, my spell checker still doesn't like it. Is it D-H or D-A-H?
No, it's A-B-U space
I have it.
D.
Yes, the spell checker says it's good with D-H-A instead of D-A-H. So I have it
Yeah.
right this time. That's the advantage of a spell checker. You know when you're right. So
So,
it's very hot.
question-
Sorry, you're
oh.
saying?
No, I was gonna say my question, I guess, is like the difference when using tray.
Yes. Très
You
is
use like
very. That's right. Exactly.
okay, or would you use trop day? Is it trop
Or you
day?
would use what? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said
Like
last of all. Huh?
like for too much, is it trop day? Troll day.
What
Troll
what
day?
you saying? What you trying to say? Are you saying it's too hot, like too much heat? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay.
Yes.
So, well, we can have the two because here. Sorry, you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like when it's in French, would you
Yes.
just say very hot, or would
Yes.
you use the phrase for it? Because I always try to translate it directly, and I know that's not like
Right. Well,
solution.
obviously, there are the two ways of saying it. Just like in English, you can say both it's very hot or it's too hot. In French as well, you can say both it's very hot and also it's too hot. But as it's two different ways of saying it and translating it, let's do one at a time. Take the first one first. So, it's very hot in Abu Dhabi. Any idea how you would say, how would you would translate that, Angel?
Does it say?
Say, that's right. C apostrophe EST. Very good. And what about very hot?
Trey Sean.
Yes, very good. Très chaud. Yes. En fait, c'est très chaud means it's very hot, like c'est très chaud. Like the food, it's very hot. C'est très chaud. For example, for food, that's what you would say when you're talking about food or a drink. Okay, if anybody asks you, is it hot enough? And then you answer, oh, it's very hot. Then you would say, c'est très chaud. Okay, but when you're talking about the weather, it's different. So this is
Okay.
the way to say it's very hot, as in the weather is very hot. So il fait, that is to say, literally, it is doing. Il fait très chaud à Abu, oops, Dhabi. Can you see that, Angel?
Yes.
Il
Il
fait,
fait
yes, il fait
très chaud.
très chaud à Abu Dhabi. Exactly right. So you see that there's a different way of talking about the food being hot. It's different from talking about the weather being hot. Can you see that difference, Angel? Yes?
Yeah, oui.
Oui, oui, oui.
Yes.
Très bien. Excellent. Alors, maintenant, the next sentence in English was, it's too hot. Okay? Now, once again, if it's food, it's different from in Abu Dhabi, but I mean, the original sentence was in Abu
So and
Dhabi.
so still it would be il fait.
Right, exactly. So it's the same principle concerning weather as it is concerning food. I mean, each one has its own way of being translated. So for food, first of all, c'est trop chaud when you're talking about the food. When you're saying it's too hot, c'est trop, meaning too much heat. Okay, when it's too hot. That is for the food. Okay, c'est trop chaud. And what do you think it would be then for Abu Dhabi concerning the weather?
Il fait trop chaud.
That's right. Il fait trop chaud à Abu Dhabi. Can you see that, Angel?
Oui.
Oui. Très bien. Excellent, Angèle. Eh ben voilà, tu as appris quelque chose concernant la nourriture et concernant la différence entre la nourriture et la météo. Did you understand what I said there?
Um, you said something about me knowing the difference
Right.
between
Exactly. The difference between what? What are the two things we were comparing?
food and weather.
Right. Isn't that wonderful? And you even understood what I said about it, about me saying that now you've learned the difference between the two. Ah, ton français s'améliore, hein,
Slowly. How do
Angèle. Sorry?
on per on per
Un peu, un peu, un
on per.
peu. There we go, let me write it for you. Un peu. Oui. Donc, tu deviens de plus en plus forte. What does that mean, Angel? I write it in French and you need to understand, okay? Tu deviens, okay, tu deviens de plus en plus forte, Angèle, ou Ange. There we go. Tu deviens de plus en plus forte, Ange. What does that mean? Now, instead of going from the English to the French, we're going from the French to the English. Hey.
You
Yes.
can't
Now,
remember what deviant.
okay, it comes from the verb devenir. Okay. Now, then the word, you know what the word venir means, don't you?
To come.
Right. Now, in English, we have two little letters which we can put in front, which changes that word slightly. And in French, it's the same thing, except in French it's DE, and in English it's something come.
ED.
Sorry?
In French is ED, yeah?
I didn't hear. Can you repeat, please?
In French it's like ED, right?
It's
I
not
mean English.
ED, it's in English that it's BE. That's right. So in French it's DE, and in English it's BE. So not EB, but BE.
Yeah.
So
So
in
like
English, yes, you're saying?
you became.
Right. No. This is not the past. If it was the past, it would be um, tu es
Yeah.
devenu. Okay. You see, conjugated with the verb to be, you, well, in English we say you have become, but because when you conjugate with the verb to have in English, it's the verb to be in French, which isn't very logical, but you know, the French and the English, they always do things the other way around, the opposite way. You know
So
that, don't
you're
you? Yes.
yeah. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So we say you have become, and the French would say you are become. Okay. So, but that's the past. But
So it's
here, sorry, you saying?
something like you're becoming
Right, the present.
more
Tu deviens, you are becoming in the present. Right. What are you becoming?
more and more.
More and more. Wonderful. Oh, Angel. Ange, bravo. Excellent. Tu fais très, très bien.
But I don't know what fort
Well,
is.
I mean, what is a fort? What's another word for fort in English? A bit longer, a longer word well, two parts, in two syllables.
Fort,
I mean, not a fort, which is one syllable, but another word using different words, which mean the same thing, which is in two syllables. Sorry?
fortress.
Yes, that's a good answer to what I was saying, but ris at the end isn't actually a word on its own. But here we're talking about two words, which both of which are words on their own, but when they're joined together, it means a fort or a fortress. Any other idea? Do some
No.
brainstorming. Think of all the words that you can think that are associated with a fort or a fortress.
For a fort?
Yes.
Nothing is coming to mind right now for a fort.
Nothing's coming to mind. Okay.
Right.
What does a fort represent? Give me some adjectives to describe a fort.
Like like security, like safety.
Right. Keep going. But these are nouns. The security, the safety of something. I want an adjective. I'm looking
Okay.
for an adjective.
Large, big,
Large, big. What else?
strong.
Right. Look at your t-shirt. Ange, regarde ton t-shirt. It means strong. Well, here, obviously, it's like your t-shirt because it is more and more strong. So it's stronger and stronger.
Uh,
Now, do you know which word I was thinking of, which represents a fort, which starts
no,
with the word
please.
strong? A
Strong tower.
strong
Oh my God.
hold. Have you ever heard of a stronghold?
I've heard of stronghold.
Right.
Not related to fort though.
Oh, it is. It is a fortress. It is a stronghold. In biblical terms, we talk about strongholds, which are also the fortresses of the enemy. They're the strongholds of the enemy. They're synonyms.
Okay.
Yes, a fort is a stronghold. It's basically a place which is held, which is strong, which has a strong defense. You see that? Tu vois,
Yeah.
Ange? Oui, excellent. So, let's finish translating the sentence. So, tu deviens de plus en plus forte, Ange. So, you are becoming, what are you becoming?
Stronger.
Right. And what else? More and more. More is comparative. Stronger is comparative. So either you say more and more strong, or you say stronger and
Stronger.
right, like on your t-shirt, you see? You have stronger written more than once. So you're becoming stronger and stronger. Angel, how's that? Is that good?
Yeah. Yeah.
You won't forget that, will you, Angel?
Probably. Yeah.
You won't forget that. I make sure my students don't forget what I teach them. Because otherwise, what's the point of learning something if you're going to forget it the next day or the day after? It's like I'm
Exactly.
wasting my time. Exactly. But if you remember this for the rest of your life, which is what I pray, of course, in Jesus' name, then my time has been well spent. Even if I took a little bit longer to explain it to you, I think you'll remember it for quite a while, quite a long time, hopefully forever. Est-ce que c'est bien, Ange? Is it good? Oui?
Yeah.
Oui,
Yeah.
excellent, très bien. Alors, on va faire la lecture biblique maintenant. We're going to do the Bible reading now.
D'accord.
D'accord? Très bien. Alors, où est-ce qu'on s'est arrêté la fois passée? Où est-ce qu'on s'est arrêté la fois passée? You understand the question?
Where?
Where? Yes. Où? That's right. Where? It's best if I write it for you. It's easier if I write it. I'll write it in the italki message section. So let's see. Oh, what's happening there? I don't know. Anyway. Oh yes, I must have opened up something which I didn't mean to do. So où? No, that's not right. Right, that's it. Où est-ce qu'on s'est arrêté la fois passée? Ange. Can you translate that into English, Angel? This is good because we haven't done much of that in the past. We've mainly done translating from English to French, if you remember, but we haven't done much from French into English. So this is actually should be easier than English to French because you always, well, when it's easy, I mean, to make it easier, you should always try and translate from the language you're studying into your own native mother tongue into your own native language. You see what I mean, Angel?
Yeah.
D'accord.
So your question, where
Yes,
did
where?
where he
Est-ce que is like a bit of a, the sort of thing you find in questions usually. It's like saying, where is it? Literally,
yeah.
because that's what it actually means. Is, and ce is that or it. So where is it? Literally, que. Now, que in the middle of a sentence. Do you remember what that means? Well, at the
This
beginning of a sentence, you know what it is, don't you? It's a question word, que.
yeah, it means like this or these or these.
Right. In the middle of the sentence, it means this or that. If it was at the beginning of a question, que would mean what? Okay. So que can either mean what, when it's a question, or let's say that. So literally, I mean, of course, we have to put it in good English afterwards, but if you're translating word for word, it's like, where is it that? Well, we in English, we say where did, of course, instead of where is it that, we say where did. What comes next? On. You know what on means, Angel?
We.
Yes, it's like saying we, exactly. S'est arrêté, the verb arrêter. Any idea?
I don't know what it means, but I'm gonna infer that it means like leave off or something. Or stop, maybe. I don't know.
Well, exactly, stop. That is the word. Exactly. You see from the context, you can work it out. It's stop because, and also, doesn't that, did I tell you what you should write or translate in English or say in English or how you should pronounce a word when you see the letter E in French with a circumflex accent? That's the accent with the little hat on it. That means it going up and down, both together. Can you see that in the
No,
middle of the word arrêté? Can you see that
we.
accent, which looks like a hat, which is called the circumflex accent? But I didn't tell you. Okay, now, when you see a circumflex accent in French, then when you're translating into English, you should always write an S, the letter S. Well, actually, not always, but most of the time. Just after, 99% of the time, just after that circumflex accent. Now, if you were to add the letter S after that circumflex accent, what would that give you in English, Angel?
Arrest.
Right. Now, when you arrest somebody, doesn't that kind of stop them in some way when they're arrested? They can't really do very much, can they? They're kind of
Right.
stopped by the police when they're arrested. And you know what is the French word for arrest? The verb to arrest in French?
No.
When you're looking at it, arrêter.
I was gonna say, like
Yes,
this one.
it means to stop.
Arrêter.
Literally, they use that word as the word to arrest somebody. So when the police arrest somebody, literally in French, they use the verb to stop, and that is the word for arrest in French. So literally, in French, it would be written, the police stopped the criminal. And in English, we would say the police arrested the criminal. But the French say the police stopped the criminal. And stopping the criminal for the French is the same as arresting because it's the same verb. Can you see that, Angel?
Yes, we.
Wonderful. Magnifique, Ange. Et tu vas pas oublier, hein? You're not going to forget that, are you? Okay, very good.
Yes,
So, so not where were we arrested, but where did we
stop.
stop? Exactly. La fois passée.
Well, passe is passage.
Past. Well, it can't. No, passage is actually like the English. Passage
Oh,
is passage. So now, have I written the French version first or the English version first there, Angel?
where?
Can you see what I've written last of all in the sky in the italki message section?
Oh, for passage. Oh yeah, this we talked about last week.
Right, but now I've written passage equals passage. So did I write the French version first or the English version first of passage? Can you see? I've written passage equals passage. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did I write passage equals passage, or did I write passage equals passage? Did I write the English first or the French first? And did I write the English last or the French last?
They're the same.
Exactly.
Oh.
That's what I wanted you to say. Whee!
I'm seriously question.
It was a trick question. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Excuse-moi, pardonne-moi, Ange. C'était une question piège. Okay, this is how you say a trick question in French. A trick question, okay, equals une question piège. Okay, and do you know what piège means in French?
Is it trick?
Well, trick is usually truc or astuce. But if you have piège on its own, it means trap, literally. That's the normal meaning of the word piège. So the English say a trick question, but the French say a trap question. You see that? Right. Okay. Lots of new vocabulary there for you, Angel. Right. So I just wanted, that to sink in, that passage, because you were thinking that passé was passage, and I just wanted to sink in that passage is the same in French as in English. You won't forget that, will you?
Never.
Never. Wonderful. Bravo, Ange. I'm sorry to have used a trick question to make it sink in, but that way you'll never forget. Brilliant. Okay, you will forgive me, won't you, Angel? Tu me pardonnes, hein? You
Oui,
forgive me?
of course.
Oui, merci, Ange. Merci beaucoup. Well, as Christians, we have to. We don't have a choice, actually. We are called to by God, and if we don't, then we're sinners. We're sinning if we don't. So we have to. We don't have any choice. We have to forgive each other. Okay, that's great, Angel. So, what about foi? La foi. Any idea? So where did we stop last? Well, what's in the context? How would you translate that? Where did we stop last?
Like
What's
not
sorry?
class. I'm sorry, it's
not class, but
class.
When you ask somebody in general, not the
Time.
time, right? And that's what it means. La foi is the time in that context. Of course, temps is the other word for time, which is the general word for time. But for this specific, in this specific context, we use la foi in the sense of how many times. You see, in English, we have the same word for time and times. The time in general, okay, the time in general, which is le temps, and it can be both hours and weather, because we have the same word in French to describe the weather. The word for the weather in French is le temps. Did you know that, Angel?
No.
Well, when you're asking somebody what time is it, in French, you could be also asking them, well, what's the weather like?
So how would you know the difference?
It's in the question. It's the way you structure the question. If you're asking what time it is, you would say, not what is the temps, which obviously is the time which passes by in general, but you would always ask them for the specific hour. That's why I put hour in brackets in French, because when the French ask for the time, because the word for the weather is the same, to avoid the confusion, the French ask what hour it is. And when they ask you what hour, they're not just expecting an answer like, oh, it's the third hour or the fourth hour. They're expecting the normal time, like it's 3:30 or it's 20 to 4. You see what I mean, Angel? So the way to ask the time, which could be useful for you if ever you need to know what the time is in French or in France, you would say quelle heure est-il? That's right. Quelle heure est-il? That is, what is the time? Literally, what is the hour? Do you see that? Now, if you were to ask the question, quel temps fait-il? Does that ring a bell? Does that bring back memories? Fait-il?
Yes.
Il fait? Right. We saw that earlier, didn't we? Do you remember?
Yes.
With a heat, when it was very hot or too hot. We were talking about il fait, and that's because that is the construction to use with weather. You always talk about what the weather is doing, like it does hot. Literally, in French, il fait chaud. It is doing hot. It is doing heat. Literally. But we
so
say,
somebody.
Yes, sorry, you're saying? Yeah.
Quel temps fait-il is like, what is the weather? And then you would say that it is. Yeah.
Well, in English we say it is cold, it is hot, but the French say it is doing hot, because faire is the verb to do or to make.
Right. Right.
You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Faire equals to do or to make. So the French say it's doing hot, but the English would say it is hot. You see the difference?
Yes.
And you see the difference in asking the time. So quel temps fait-il is what, literally, what weather is it, but we don't say that. We say, what's the weather like? You know, that's the usual English way of saying it. What's the weather like? But literally, it's what weather is it? Or what is the weather doing in French? Quel temps fait-il? Or what's the weather? We can say what is the weather, coffee. You can say what's the weather. Okay, that's great. Is this all useful information for you, Angel?
Yes.
Brilliant. Excellent. So I pray you won't forget that. So that's good. Lots of useful vocabulary for you and how to use it so you don't avoid the confusion with words that are similar. With all of that, I still haven't told you what fois means, which is a time, one time.
Yes.
So
yes,
une fois means one time, which means once. Deux fois means two times, which is twice. So that is why when we had the question, where did we stop last time, we used fois instead of temps. Because temps is weather, heure is time, quelle heure est-il? And fois is time as in last time. Do you see all of that, how it all fits together, but it's all translated differently in French compared to the English, which have the same word time for the clock time and for how many times you do something. Whereas the French distinguish between clock time and how many times you do something. Clock time is heure, hour, literally.
Yeah.
But we also talk about le temps qui passe, which is time is passing by. That isn't specific time, like what is the time, but it's just saying that time in general is passing by. So if I was to say, le temps passe vite, you don't have to say the hour goes by quickly, like when you're asking what time is it, what hour it is, you would say le temps passe vite, which means time goes by quickly. Can you see that, Angel? Le temps passe vite. Then we use the word time as temps, usual word for it. And you can see how, once again, weather is also time in French. Le temps, the same word for the weather, whereas we have a different word. We don't say, what time is it? Talk about the weather. We say, what weather is it? Can you see all those differences? Are you going to be able to remember all that, Angel?
I mean, with practice, yes.
With practice. Okay, for your homework, you can just go over that as many times as you'd like. Just revise it, do some revision. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yep. Brilliant. Oui, très bien. Excellent, Ange. Alors, avec tout ça, où est-ce qu'on s'est arrêté la fois passée? With all of that, where did we stop last time?
Let me see. Last time we did trois. So,
le verset 3. We did verse 3, right?
Aujourd'hui,
Aujourd'hui, on fait verset
verset 4.
4. Excellent, Ange. Alors, je t'écoute. I'm listening to you, Angel.
Okay. Afin que tu reconnaisses.
Afin. Pronounce this word afin.
Afin.
Afin. Afin.
Afin.
Yes.
Que tu reconnaisses.
Que tu reconnaisses. Reconnaisse, oui.
Tu reconnaisses la certitude.
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 Oui.
Des
Enseigne. You were doing well the first time. Enseignement. Enseignement. But yes, enseignement. But you have to have the liaison. You can't say des enseignements. What must you say?
Des enseignements.
With a liaison, the S has to be pronounced and carried through.
Des enseignements.
That's right. Des enseignements. Very good.
Que tu as reçu.
That's right. Que tu as reçu. Very good. Très bien. Bravo, Ange.
What is this C? The C with the thing under?
Okay.
What is this?
That is a very special accent, okay, which is only on the letter C. And it's called the C cedilla. Have you ever heard of the C cedilla, Angel?
No.
Okay, so it's C cedilla in English, which is the same as C, C, D in French. You see that? The French way of calling that, of naming that accent or indicating that accent, you would say C, CCD in French, which is the same in English as C cedilla. That's the name of the accent. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I need to explain to you how to use this and what is the purpose of it. Now, in French, there are two ways of pronouncing the letter C. And this C cedilla changes the way you pronounce the C in front of certain letters. Now, the letters where you would use it, okay, would be CA, C O, and CU. Only those three. You don't have to use it in front of the letter E or the letter I. So for E, it would be CE, normal, normal C, normal E. And the letter I, normal C, normal, yeah, C in front of the letter I. That's because when you pronounce CE with a normal C and CI with a normal C, you already have the right sound for it, which is what sound when it's CE or CI, Angel?
See?
Which one are you pronouncing? That's a good one. Actually, I should have specified because you did actually pronounce one correctly, but not the one I was expecting. So tell me, which one are you trying to pronounce, Angel? The first one or the second one? CE or CI?
Is sir.
Which one?
Yeah?
Sorry?
Like, is it CE?
Yes, how do you pronounce it?
Like sir?
Sir. That's right, correct. And if it's CI, how do you pronounce it?
C.
C, exactly. Which is what you said earlier, the C, but as I was expecting you to pronounce the first one first, and as I asked you actually to pronounce both of them, I thought maybe you started with the second one, in which case you would have been right. Exactly, that's why I needed to specify. Exactly. So you know that the sound, the soft sound of the C is, you know, like the hissing of the snake. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That is the soft C. And that's why when you add the cedilla, it's actually changing that C into what letter? When you put a tail underneath the letter C, what does that give you in the alphabet? What letter does it look like?
Q?
Not exactly. I mean, if you continue
You're saying like,
sorry?
I'm sorry. You're asking me what does the thing under it look like?
When it's joined with a C, if you were to kind of simplify the look of it, if you can continue the line of the letter C so that it goes down below, and if you look closely at the way the curve underneath the letter C, in which direction it's going, and you join those two so that it's like a continuation of the line going down of the letter C, and it curves around the other way, what letter in the alphabet, which is not C, but looks like the C with the cedilla? Any idea? Sorry, what did you say?
G?
No, not G. Because G is a closed circle at the top and then a tail. But it has to be open at the top and open at the bottom, but going the other way. Okay, I'll have to give it to you, I think. So C cedilla is pronounced, okay, like S and looks like S. Can you see that? At the top part of the S is like a C, and the bottom part of the S, if you look very closely at the C cedilla accent, because the line right at the bottom is going in the other direction, a bit like the S, where the curve is going the other way. Can you see the S finishes off pointing to the left, but it starts off at the top of the S. The line is like pointing to the right if you put arrows at the ends of those two lines. Or, yeah, I mean, forming the letter S. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
You do. Brilliant. So that'll remind you how to pronounce the C cedilla like an S. And now, how do you pronounce when there's A, O, and U just after the C cedilla? Remember the rule I told you, the rule of thumb, how you pronounce the C cedilla.
Like an S?
Right. So how are you going to pronounce C cedilla A, C cedilla O, and C cedilla U? I think I'd better ask you them individually because otherwise we might have the same confusion as last time. So let's take the first one. C cedilla A. How would you pronounce that?
Sa?
Good. Excellent. Très bien, Ange. Excellent. What about C cedilla O?
So.
So, yes, very good. So. And what about C cedilla U?
So.
Su. Now,
Yeah.
does the C cedilla U remind you of something in the text? Have a look at the text again. The end of verse 4.
Okay.
The end of verse 4, the last word of verse 4.
So it's
How do you pronounce that word?
reçu.
Reçu. That's right. With the S sound because of the C cedilla. Now, if each of those vowels, A, O, and U, did not have the C cedilla in front of them, but just had the ordinary C without the cedilla in front of them, how would you pronounce those three letters, those three vowels of the alphabet? How would you pronounce CA if there's no cedilla on the C?
Ça.
No, sa is with the cedilla. It's
Like
it's a hard C when it's not with the, when there's no
ha.
cedilla. So, could you repeat, please, Angel?
Ha.
Ka. That's right. Ka, like a K, is the hard
Yeah.
C. Okay. Now, what about CO without the cedilla on the C? Just an ordinary CO.
Co.
Go. Très bien. Bravo, Angèle. Ange. And then CU without the cedilla on the C?
Ku.
Q. That's right. Ka, ko, Q. That's without the C cedilla and with the C cedilla. Sa, so, su. Can you hear the difference
Yes.
between the soft C and the hard C? Soft C with the cedilla, hard C without the cedilla. Are you going to be able to remember that, Angel?
I'm going to review those notes and I will remember.
That's good. Excellent. Brilliant. So I'm just going to add to that C. So therefore, without the cedilla, is pronounced like K. So I'm going to put in brackets, it's a hard C, as opposed to the soft C when there's a cedilla. Okay, can you see that, Angel?
Mm-hmm.
C without the cedilla is pronounced like K, K. So it's a hard C as opposed to the soft C when there's a cedilla. Is that all right? Oui?
It's good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Très bien. Alors, maintenant, maintenant que tu as très bien lu, now that you've read that very well, Angel, maintenant, est-ce que... Ah oui, dis-moi quels sont les mots qui sont difficiles. What are the difficult words in there? The words that you didn't understand. Which ones?
Like it's just hard for me to say is it enseignement?
Enseignement. Okay. Enseignement comes from the verb enseigner. And there's also the noun enseignant. You've never heard of the verb enseigner before? Or the noun enseignant before? Angel?
No.
Okay. So, enseigner there we go, is to teach. Un
Oh.
enseignant is a teacher. So what do you think an enseignement with the MENT at the end would possibly mean if you know that the root is teach, what
Teaching.
other? Right, exactly. So an enseignement is a teaching. You found it on your own. You worked it out. I just like pointed you in the right direction and you found the answer. Well done, Angel. Bravo, Ange. Alors, maintenant que tu as compris cela, now that you've understood that, which other words were difficult for you to understand that in French?
I don't know what affin.
Affin. Okay, it's pronounced affin, even though in English it looks like a fin, as in a shark fin or a dolphin fin, but it's pronounced affin. And it means so that or in order that. So I'll write that for you so you remember it. Afin means so that or in order that or
What is?
for the purpose of. Sorry, what were you saying, Angel?
I was just gonna ask. Doesn't like allure also mean so?
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Allure? Doesn't
Yes.
that mean so as well?
Doesn't it mean which word as well?
Allure, like so.
No.
No?
Alors is so on its own. Now there's a difference between so and so that. So alors, well, you're right in saying that alors is so, but there is a difference between so and so that. If I was to say, alors, qu'est-ce qu'on va faire maintenant? It means so. What are we going to do now? It's not saying so that. What are we going to do now? We don't say so that. What are we going to do now? We say so. What are we going to do now? Can you see the difference there?
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to say to you, on fait ça afin d'être plus fort. We do that so that we are stronger. Well, it's true that in English we can say we do that so we are stronger. So in one way you can do it, the other way it doesn't work. So, but it's always best to remember that afin is so that, meaning in order that. Afin, yes, I was thinking afin de réussir, so that I would succeed. But I suppose in English you could also say I did that so as to succeed. But also that I succeed. Yes. So, but you see that when you're using so on its own, it's only alors when it means so. What are we going to do now? We don't say so that. What are we going to do now? So there, it's different. But the other way around, it can be the same, if you see what I mean.
So, I don't know.
So that way, we don't say so that way, we say so that way. If you see what I mean. So now you know what afin means. Which other words were difficult there?
Certitude.
Well, you know that in English. What is a certitude? If you have a certitude about something, what does that mean? If you're saying, I have absolute certitude about this, what would that mean? Sorry?
Certainty.
Certainty, right. That's it. That's what it means. You see?
Okay.
I knew you knew it. Okay, so
I
you
just want
know, yes?
to know, and sometimes it's like something different.
Sure, it can be different sometimes. So that's why I was confirming that to you. So you're quite right, Angel. That means certainty. Which other words were difficult there?
Now, K, often K,
Afin
K.
que, well, que, that. It's like saying so that. I mean, in fact, the afin is the so part, and the que, which goes with it, is the that part. So afin
That's
que is it's actually an expression, afin que, which means so that.
okay.
It goes together.
So,
Hmm.
so that you recognize the
Yes.
certainty of
Yes.
things
Of the teachings, good. Yes. Que.
that you have
That.
received.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I'm so impressed. You just translated it like that, just knowing the words of vocabulary, and you all put it together. Oh, brilliant. Oh, you really are doing well, Angel. Bravo. Félicitations, Ange. I'm really impressed there. I didn't think you were just going to translate it like that just in a few seconds. Otherwise, wow.
Well, well, you told me some of the words,
Sure.
and Risu, I seen that was one of the words on my list for my class
Oh,
that
wonderful.
had
Oh,
the are as the past tense when we did past tense verbs.
right.
So
That's it. That's why reçu was so easy for you because you'd seen. So this is good because your class that you're also doing in French is complementary with this biblical French. So it all fits in together. What you're learning in one class is helping you understand things in the other class.
yeah.
That's brilliant. Excellent. Bravo, Ange. And now all that's left for us to do is to read the English equivalent. Do you have the English equivalent in front of you there, Angel?
Yep. Let me get it.
Okay, excellent.
That you may know
Uh-huh.
the certainty of those things in which you were
In which you were
instructed.
instructed. Yes, that's right. Well, literally, the certainty, it's like the teachings. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
The things you're instructed are things you were taught, basically. When you receive
Yeah.
instruction, it's when you receive teachings, it's like receiving instruction. So, well, that's it. Can you see how it fits with the English?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's better and better.
Right. Brilliant. So it's becoming better all the time. Better and better, stronger and stronger, all the time. Bravo, Ange. Excellent. Alors, comment est-ce que tu as trouvé cette leçon? Quelle est ton opinion, ton impression de cette leçon, Ange? Did you understand the question?
You asked if I had any questions or like opinions, I guess, about the lesson or something.
Of course, if you do have any questions, you can also let me know. But that's not exactly what I was asking. I was asking what you thought of the lesson, what was your impression of the lesson, what you thought about it, how did you find it?
No, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Excellent. That's brilliant.
Like, got a lot of so
Mm-hmm.
it was yes. Merci beaucoup.
Mais avec plaisir, Ange, avec le plus grand plaisir. Et merci beaucoup aussi à toi pour la leçon. So thank you very much to you too for the lesson, Angel. Merci bien. Et à très bientôt. À la prochaine, Ange. So,
next week.
yes, see you soon. Next time.
Okay, next time. Okay, yes.
Merci beaucoup. Avec plaisir. À bientôt. Au revoir, Ange. Au revoir. Merci.